You Hindus are so unscientific. You think God made us. Actually, no. Sanatan Dharma accepts that Prakriti or nature only made us, and ancient Bharat's scientific knowledge of biology would make even Charles Darwin take notes. So here's the tea. Point 1, our Chandogya Upanishad clearly explains four types of living beings. Jayamanaha, which means mammals born out of their mother wombs. Andajaha, which means reptiles, birds and insects born from eggs. Shvedajaha, which means worms, lice and insects that are born from moisture or sweat. And Udbijaha, which means trees and plants sprouting from the ground. Point 2, our Garuda Puran and Padma Puran, more importantly, already understood the theory of evolution way before it was a thing, listing out 8.4 million species existing on Earth, which is very close to the 8.7 million figure that modern science accepts today. These are classified into Jalaja, which means aquatic, Stavara, plants and trees, Pakshinaha, which means birds winged in the sky, Krumayo, which means worms and insects, Pashavaha, which means beasts and animals, and Manushyaha, which means many types of human beings. Our texts have lengthy explanations on how the soul journeys through lakhs and lakhs of yonis or wombs from lower to higher forms. In fact, the term survival of the fittest appears in the Shanti Parva of our Mahabharata centuries before it was formalized and coined as a phrase as nature's food chain law. But what's even more mind-shattering is that centuries before the microscope was invented, our Atharva Veda had already described and discovered microorganisms, calling them krumi, with classification into Drishtakrami, which means the visible parasites and microbes, and Adrishtakrami, which means the invisible bacteria and viruses, with also a mention of Pranashray, which means parasites that feed on their host to survive. The Charaka Samhita also outlines all the diseases that arise from these viruses and bacteria with remedies for them. Point 3, in botany too, our Rigveda and Parashara's Vriksha Ayurveda talks about thousands of plant classifications, dividing them into Aushadhi, Vanaspati, Valli, Viruddha, Truna, etc. Point 4, we also have an ancient Garbhopanishad which details out how the man's bija, which means seed or sperm, mixes with the woman's ovum and egg called as Shronita or Andabija to form a embryo, which means the Garbha. So we pretty much knew that sex and conception makes babies, not stalks or some god in the sky. So Sanatan Dharma does not deny biology, evolution, nature or science. It just goes beyond all of them to explain things even modern science cannot. Our texts are not just philosophical, they have real world insights. And if you want to understand all of them, share this reel and follow me for more.